With Star Citizen 4.3.1, we get to go deeper into ASD's Onyx facilities in visiting Site B. And what's a new location in the verse without some new loot? The Odin Munitions Corporation Heavy Armor Set and the Volt Fresnel LMG are found down in the dicey depths of Site B. Although I know other creators have used it as their video thumbnail, I'll be deliberately avoiding the big spoiler during this run. I'll include it at the very end of the video for those that are curious, but for following the guide, you don't need to see it. In order to get to Site B, you need to go through the research wing, but that's not as daunting as it might sound, as sub-level 5 is now open, which gives you a much less enemy-heavy route to get down to the central atrium. While I let that portion of the run play, you might be expecting me to pop up that the Site B segment of my Onyx Companion Guide is also ready to go. But no, as I need to map out an entirely new wing. That'll take me a hot minute, but I aim to have that and the new Imperium project contract guide all done by the time 4.3.1 goes to live. So look for updates to the RSI Hub version of my companion guide and my Discord server, both linked below, and of course there'll be a video when it's all done for the new contracts. So be sure to subscribe. Once you get to research level 1, take a left and then traverse through the broken floors to the Site B elevator. As soon as you go through the first door, there is a spawn closet on the far left-hand side of the room and an administration room immediately to your right with your first Fresnel LMGs. There's also an assortment of the usual loot boxes that you'd find in Hathor or Lazarus, because with the effort it takes to get there in the first place and then go through it, I mean, they really needed to include them in this. But going across to the Travelator, you may want to snipe the existing enemies from up top, as once you get to the bottom, there are 2 spawn closets on the far side, and they'll open up and out will pour some more enemies. There's also 2 infantry-manned miniguns in the opening above those spawn doors. So dealing with the trigger-based spawns is strongly advisable before getting to looting. This area has 3 OMC arms boxes, one back by the elevator on the left-hand side if you were coming down, one in this transformer area, and the last one being closer to the actual facility along the lateral Travelator. Again, you may want to deal with the existing enemies first, and personally I resist the urge to use the Travelator, instead preferring to mantle up onto the side walkways. You'll find the 3rd arms box down to the left at this broken railing. And then moving forward, you'll notice another control room with the Volt LMGs in there. The door may or may not be closed, but it's easy enough to get to if you find it shut. Just keep moving forward and then drop down into the engineering ducts from the rails. There's your first set of legs and various other loot boxes down below, and the LMGs up the ladder. Going back to the start of the ducts, hopping across the rails, and there's our second set of legs. Carrying on in the rail pits and into the centre of the room, underneath the floor you'll find the final set of legs, bathed in an orange glow. Carrying on to the lobby, we've got our first core armor tucked behind the planter on the far side of the room to the right. Then the second in the control room, along with some more LMGs and the code for the Project Hyperion lab door. Once into the lab area, go left to the end and there's our third and final core. Obviously, as all of this is heavy armor, in an area that's designed for groups, you're not going to be able to extract everything unless you try and get very bold and bring a container down. Moving on to backpacks, I like to close the gap between me and the manned miniguns by crouching along the gantry and dealing with them up close. In between the two miniguns is the next door code, which is needed for the loot room on the opposite side of the balcony. But first, clearing downstairs, at the back of the room, there's our first backpack tucked away. And then we can go up the stairs into the loot room, punching in the code, and there's 2 backpacks, another LMG weapon rack, and other assorted loot. Now it's time for some head, going back downstairs to the next ominous red door and into the antechamber. Three heavy enemies will be spawning behind the bulkhead door to the left as soon as you enter the room, so I prefer to take them out first, and then go back to the first helmet box amongst all of the tools. Be careful when running over the ports in this room, as they are quite spicy. Going through to the experiment room itself, this is where I will tilt the camera down and head to the left for the second helmet. Then you can either go up the ladder to the left, or if, like me, you never trust a ladder in Star Citizen, go across the other side of the room and mantle up the broken elevator and into the control room. Here's where you'll find our last helmet box. To exit, hop across the other side of the broken elevator and then drop down to the lobby elevator. And that's your loot run complete. Let me know below your thoughts on Site B, the Fresnel, or the armor that we first got a sneak peek of in 2018. Look out for my Onyx Contracts Guide Part 2, and of course the new pages for my Onyx Companion Guide. Until the next one, fellow citizens, fly safe, beware the bugs, and spoilers in 3, 2, 1.